Now, the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party has distanced itself from the report by a reconciliation committee on resolving the lingering crisis in the party and the conduct of peaceful national convention. The committee, chaired by Ambassador Hassan Adamu, was inaugurated on November 5, 2025, following directives from the BoT. Afterwards, a report presentation was held in Abuja on Thursday, where the committee recommended an all-inclusive caretaker committee to resolve the issues plaguing the party. The Reconciliation Committee stated that the move has become necessary because a convention that will not be accepted by all members will render the party incapable of fielding candidates at all levels nationally. Joining us to discuss more on this is a legal practitioner and political analyst, Barrister Vincent Ottaokpukpu. Barrister Vincent Ottaokpukpu, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Now, to the question, how might the ongoing battles, or legal battles, let's remember, how can this add controversy and affect the PDP's chances in 2027?
Okay, thank you for having me. PD, what is happening today is quite unfortunate with respect to the crisis that have characterized with administrative affairs of the People's Democratic Party over the years, I think for some time now. You will recall that the planned convention, which is supposed to hold today, I would say is more or less a move to recover, to restore the soul, spirit of the People's Democratic Party. From existential, from going into, just to restore it, So there are court judgments and the court order, counter order with respect to the convention. Recall that there was an earlier judgment from my Lord Justice Omotosho that have ordered PDP to suspend the planned convention. And there was another order that was on 31st of October by my Lord the Honorable Justice Akintona, certifying and ordering PDP to proceed with the convention by way of an ex parte order, which has been expended by the court up to 18th of this month. And finally, on the 11th, as the case may be, there was also a judgment from an order from the Federal High Court in Abuja here by my Lord the Honorable Justice Elihu, would have also ordered PDP to suspend the planned convention with respect to the rights and duties owed to one of its members, former senator or former governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido. So give and take, these are judgment of a court. And we have said in several fora that in a democracy like ours, rule of law must triumph not only in our legal system, but in our body politics. Parties to litigation must accept decision of the court, orders of the court in good faith, subject only to appeal processes available in law. And no party should employ self-help to disparage or disrespect the order of the court. You must appreciate the fact that the three orders we are talking about now, the three orders are coming from the court of equal jurisdiction. One stopping the, two stopping the convention, one asking the convention to proceed. And the PDP is in a state of quagmire. CDC in a state of confusion as to which order to obey and which not, and not to obey. A lot of lawyers have argued what is the superiority between order that have came by way of a final judgment where interests, rights of parties have been finally determined. There's nothing pending. And that of ex parte order where the final issues has not been determined. So some lawyers have argued that the final judgment is superior in ranking to an ex parte order. But that is the argument of some lawyers. Some lawyers also argue that ex parte order is coming from a court of equal and division, so there's no superiority to that.
Just a second, yes. Barrister, I'm going to need you to clarify what you meant by both or all the courts involved here are of equal jurisdiction. But that aside, also do tell us what happens with these differing rulings from the different courts, the Federal High Court, the Oyo State Court. What happens to the convention if it does proceed, or whatever is mandated from inside of that convention, the legitimacy of it?
The legitimacy of it is that the PDP is conducting the convention in obedience to an order of a court that has certified and asked them to proceed. So the outcome of outcome of that action is it can be accommodated under that order. They are obeying an order of a court. Whether wrongly given or rightly given is not the issue here. But there's an order they are obeying, and which, you know, at the end of the day, it will proceed to Court of Appeal and ultimately to the Supreme Court in the final analysis. So they are obeying court order. They are conducting convention, which they have power to conduct under the PDP Constitution and under the 1999 Constitution, Section 223. And under the Electoral Act, Section 82 have given them power to conduct primary conventions, meetings. Now,
Barrister, just a second there. If you can hear me, just a second. Barrister, just a second, Barrister. My apologies. I'm going to come back to you, but currently we have New Central's Igbalaniyi Omoniyi, who is currently at the venue of the convention. I would like him to join us and give us some updates before we come back to you and ask you questions. Ni, thank you very much for joining. You're live in Ibadan, where the convention is supposed to be starting now. Do tell us exactly what the situation is, Ni.
I hope that the members of our staff who are here will take the message home to say the heading and the 15th
of the People's Democratic Party. I wouldn't say formally known as the second contender, biggest contender in Nigeria's political atmosphere, but that position for now is what a lot of people are saying is shaking. But back to the events of today, a lot of things had happened before today, and a lot of people think today would hold the National Convention. Even as at now, I want to believe there's still some legal tussles, there's still some, I think this is one of the most controversial national convention of the People's Democratic Party we've had. I'd like to bring in my colleagues so that we can have a more short and robust conversation. And I also have a delegate from Abia State that is also on standby to speak with us. Israel, naturally, I can see right behind me delegates from, sections, created delegates from Adamawa, delegates from Akwa Ibom, from Abia State and all. A lot of people are wondering why people will still gather for this convention. That a lot of legal battles, a lot of INEC is not even going to be here. It's quite surprising.
First things first, like a carnival here. It's almost like it's a party. It's almost like there is nothing like legal wranglings issues surrounding this particular convention. They are all here from across the country. I mean, coming into the stadium here, the Lagos Stadium here in Ibadan, you can hear sound from different parts of Nigeria, from the music. It tells you the kind of people that are gathered here today. So they are here because they believe that for one reason or the other, this is their convention and it must hold for whatever reason that they have in mind right now.
I would like to quickly speak with the delegate because of time. Please, Honorable, let's have you here. Because one of the major concerns people have raised. Let's quickly meet you, sir. What's your name, sir?
My name is Chief Honorable NDN Yoko, State Leader PDP Abia State.
All right. I want to believe you're delegates from Abia State. Is that correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay. One of the major concerns for people, and a lot of people, not just party members, is INEC does not recognize this convention, which in some way affects the next polls PDP might want to go into. For example, the Osun State polls we're looking forward to, and of course the 2027. How does this make you feel? Do you think this convention is legal?
Well, to be honest and candid to you, this convention is as legal as. Yes, you may not understand, but from the point of view, there was a court order from Motoshele Federal High Court in Abuja, and there was another court order from Oyo State yesterday. And the law says the last judgment supersedes the other one. Therefore, the last judgment that came from Oyo State yesterday will supersede that of Abuja Federal High Court. In that case, this convention is as legal as. You can see the crowd.
But a lot of people will contend with that, noting that the Oyo State is a state, and we're talking about a Federal High Court here, judgment, not an ex parte order from the state court. A Federal High Court gave a judgment, according to Justice Omotosho. And is that not something that should raise concern?
From the legal point of view, though I'm not a lawyer, and I don't seem to claim so, the truth of the matter is that High Court is High Court.
Okay.
And this order has been given. And the last order is the order the INEC will take. And INEC is physically present. If you don't know, go around, you see them there. INEC is here now.
Okay, I believe if he has, would like to confirm that.
So, I mean, we've heard what you just said now, and you're going ahead with the convention as we can clearly see it. Are you not worried that despite all of this wranglings within the party, this convention, the conclusion of this convention, will also add, to all the confusion and the chaos within the PDP, and they're therefore going ahead to weaken the party even more? That's what people are saying. What's your take on this, sir?
But I also want you to understand that this is internal democracy. This internal wrangling amongst the party people. Intra-party wrangling, not intra. So amongst us, the rest assured we will settle at the appropriate time. All this rancor will be settled. There's no two ways about it.
Well, you're saying that you will settle at the appropriate time. Some will say the appropriate time was months before today.
No. The people that matters has come to board. They've met, they discussed last night, and they decided that the convention will go on.
All right. I'll just want to ask the final question. Let's quickly talk about the defections. Yeah. In a space of let me say 6 to 7 months, the mass exodus of people we've seen defect from PDP to other parties has been huge. How much effect do you think this will have, coupled with the internal crisis, coupled with the legal battles, moving into the general elections we're looking towards for Osun and of course 2020? Do you think PDP will have stronghold? Because if you look at the outing of Anambra recently, PDP barely pulled over 1,000 votes out of over 500,000 votes in Anambra outing alone. Does this not raise concern?
Let me start from, then I'll go to the other question. The truth of the matter is that PDP did not stand for election in Anambra. Ask me why.
Why?
The reason was that our Guba candidate was shot. Most of you know that. And we thank God he didn't lose his life. So he has been bedridden and we couldn't go on. And INEC has shortlisted names of Guba candidates, and there's no way we can subchange it. And that was what affected us there. And because we didn't even go into the election, yet we got 1,000 and something votes. That's by the way. Coming to the other question about what people defecting from PDP to other parties, it's normal. People also defecting from other parties to PDP. For example, in Kebbi State, in Borno, the same thing. In Adamawa, the same thing. Even in Abia, where I come from, APC people defected our party. This is internal wrangling among the party. And we must settle our party. This is a big and large party in Africa. All of us know this.
So tell us, what gives you the confidence that this convention will be accepted eventually, by INEC and the other parties involved?
Sincerely speaking, this convention will be accepted, and that is why we are holding it. Otherwise, we would have postponed it, because we have the legal backing, and that is why we are going on with this convention.
Thank you very much.
At the end of the day, it will be something good all of us will enjoy. Thank you.
Well, he's a state youth leader for Abia State, and thank you so much for talking to us. Well,
in fact, I'm very much concerned. He mentioned that INEC is here, and I think we are really going to do our, according to the last information they let out that we got. So we are going to do our findings and see if we see any INEC officials and revert to you back in the studio.
I mean, it's really surprising to see everybody here gathered. I mean, it's a packed Islamic stadium here, and they are hoping that this convention will count.
Let's see how it goes. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Omoniyi and Ifirobo Israel there at the PDP convention in Ibadan. We still have our guest, Barrister Ottaokpukpu, who has been with us discussing the issues here. Barrister, I hope you heard what our correspondents had to say from the ground there, especially with the respondent who happens to be a delegate. The absence or presence of INEC, I'm wondering, how does this add to the grand scheme of things?
Yes. Section 82 of Section 82(1) of the Electoral Act provides that every political party that intends to hold convention, meeting, and congresses shall give 21 days notice to INEC for such. And sub 2 says that the commission INEC may, with or without notice even, attend and observe conventions, meetings, and congresses for political party. So the monitoring and observing a convention or attending a convention by INEC under Section 82 of the Electoral Act is different from monitoring of party primaries or whatever to elect candidates under Section 84. A lot of people have failed to understand this and place it in properly. So INEC attending the convention going on in Ibadan is well founded and under the law because they have been notified 21 days notice under the Section 82. Now, whatever the court cases might result to be in future, INEC is a party to those cases. And INEC is an institution of government, as an institution founded on democratic principles, must obey every judgment of a court. Now, when there are two conflicting judgments, you are at liberty to choose which one to obey, especially when they are coming from court of equal and coordinate jurisdiction. The Federal High Court under Section 251 and the State High Court of Oyo State under Section 230 of the Constitution of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, are court of equal and concurrent jurisdiction. So any order emanating from these two courts, which seems to be in conflict with each other, the party is at liberty to obey which one they choose anyone to obey, pending when there is a superior judgment or order, probably from the Court of Appeal, not from any other high court again. So assuming there's any 30 or 50 high court order, pick one and obey. You have not violated anyone because there is an order you are obeying, and the order is to have the same ranking with the one that you have not obeyed until the Big Court or Supreme Court directs otherwise in the hierarchy of courts in Nigeria. So that being the case, the INEC presence at the convention is well funded. INEC is a recognized constitutional statutory body, serving with the responsibility to monitor conventions and primaries and meetings, so as to, under Section 2232, so as to have the national officers recognized by them. Two things may happen today. The convention may produce national executive members of the party today, or the convention may produce caretaker committee. PDP may choose, okay, let us go for caretaker committee, because by the constitution of the party, the convention is the highest body, decision-making body, and any action taken by at the convention arena is sacrosanct, is supreme. What has transpired before now is that there is internal party wrangling, like the fellow there spoken about. Now, the FCT minister is principally involved in the conflict with some other party officials. You know, the Supreme Court have led to rest in the case of Shinkafi versus Amadou Sharif. Remember the controversial leadership squabble then. My Lord, the Honorable Justice, the Honorable Justice Rose Bible, put a clear case of, put it to rest that the party constitution is supreme and the party is also supreme. It's a voluntary association. You cannot come to the party and scatter the party. It is like a village meeting, a meeting. They choose who to lead them. You don't force yourself. You don't scatter the party because it's not going your way. Okay, so if you don't brought Uche Secondus before. I think the FCT minister brought the Uche Secondus before. It didn't work out at the end of the day. The tenure was how it ended. He brought Eyachu Ayo. You know how it also ended. Now, Damagu was brought by the same person. You can see how it's ending. So this whole thing, we need to live above this. Must KDP die and crash because of one man? Why is it so?
Right.
We must be able to promote internal party discipline, internal party structure. The party has to exist above every person. I must want PDP in the convention you are doing to do. Make sure you observe all democratic principles enshrined in Section 82, subsection 3 of the Electoral Act, and also Section 223 of the Constitution. That is said that you must observe democratic principles. In the democratic manner, the congression must be conducted, and officials must be elected in a democratic process. Because the Supreme Court have held, in the case of Osodema versus Ositis, that a political party cannot act arbitrarily against their constitution. Anything you are doing must conform in line with your constitution, even though choosing of delegates, electing of officers is an internal party affairs. But even if it's internal party affairs, you are not at liberty to also do that in violation of your own law, your guideline and timetable and constitution. In that
all right, then, Barrister.
The court can intervene.
Barrister, let's say thank you very much. You have given us more than enough regarding the issues with the PDP convention, and we thank you very much. We have run out of our allotted time, but thank you again.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.